What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. SoFi's Q4 earnings was today. I want to give you a quick summary of some highlights, what the data points are saying, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi right now is down 11.91%. It is rather difficult to kind of distinguish exactly what of that is SoFi typical manipulation versus just broader market sell-off. Because in case you don't know, DeepSeek is kind of really disrupting the tech sector quite significantly, even though directly it doesn't really affect SoFi all that much, but just merely it's kind of the sentiment. One comparable that usually trades in line with SoFi for the most part is Robinhood. They are down 7.81%. So it is fair to assume that roughly about 5%, negative 5% is attributed to their earnings. So starting off, they did come out and it was honestly not as bad as what is being portrayed based on the market. So based on this, you can kind of see earnings per share was 5 cents, and that is a little bit higher, so it gets a nice check mark because it was higher than the 4-cent estimate. 682.2 million for the revenue, and it did come in at 739. So definitely a double beat. The only thing it didn't really do all that great is in giving good future guidance. So it wasn't significant, but they did lower it slightly, and so they lowered it to roughly around 26 cents for the most part. So kind of middle ground between 25 and 27, so middle point of 26. Currently, based on analysts, for year ending for the 2026, it is 2025 is 29. So it's roughly a 3-cent kind of pullback for that. Market doesn't like that. Is that a reason to prompt a sell-off because of that? Not really. Even more so, they did raise guidance for kind of 2026 for revenue, and based on this, so Tanner did post this. He did, or I guess Noto did a quick chat on CNBC, and one thing of this 9-minute video that really stood out to me was he was brought up crypto, and definitely very welcoming, stated that while they did have it and was able to be a custodian of it, like it made a lot of money. So basically with what recently came out within the last week, I think even though they guided a little bit lower in 2025, I think crypto could make up for that definitely in 2025. So it might be one of those kind of unjustified sell-offs. I think in SoFi's case, there's always a lot of unjustified sell-offs, but one additional thing I do want to go over with you, maybe tomorrow I'll do a little bit more of a deeper dive. Of course, this is just very basic kind of stuff that I'm sure anyone can just read quickly, but there's a couple of things that did come up. So tech platform signed several partnerships. So Galileo in the US Department, that was already announced roughly, I think it was kind of 2 months ago, a month ago, something like that. So that isn't new information. This one right here. So the company also signed a large retail finance service provider of short-term consumer loans, card services, check cashing, and other products, and then as well another leading hotel rewards brand. So I think it's called OPFI. I'll have to double check on that, but it does kind of meet the criteria of this right here. So that might be one possibly. I'll find that OPFI, I think it is. Yeah, OPFI. I think this one might meet that criteria of being that. Conveniently, I actually streamed one of their fireside chats recently. It was a very good, interesting chat, and I tweeted Anthony saying that you guys need to partner with them. I'll have to actually find that because that would be kind of unique, but in reality I think that kind of does meet this criteria. So once again, we'll just have to find out. There's a lot of different opportunities for who that could be, but nonetheless I think that's kind of a good thing going forward. Aside from all of that fun stuff though, let's get right to the actual true data points. And right now shorts surprisingly are returning. So how I like to interpret that whenever shorts are returning and there's a lot of available shares, kind of shows that today and confirms that it's not justified. So again, something to consider, but shorts are returning 291,000 shares, 11.7% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 125.73 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average kind of in line with what it was or has been, so 0.5, and then utilization is 12.29%. Moving over to options, 46 million in calls, 19 million in puts. 47% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature, so kind of a little bit in line with the average. So 65 million so far. There's about 45 minutes left in the trading day. 74 on Friday, then 47, so forth. And basically, of the call options that are being purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $19 to $20 range. So you still have a lot of optimism. So there's a lot of good opportunity as well for SoFi to really make up for a lot of the gain or the losses that have occurred today. So you also have Powell coming out Wednesday, GDP and PCE. And plus, even aside from that, big companies unveiling their earnings. So I think there's still a good amount of optimism. And like I said, honestly, I don't really see anything wrong with their earnings. The only thing was the guidance. And I think just logical people are able to kind of realize that, hey, that just might be like on paper only because what the necessary protocols for them to actually get cryptocurrency back isn't established yet. So I think it's just more of a technicality. So that's just my opinion, of course, but based on the bears, they are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $14. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated based on that. These are all the transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So kind of mixed. You have some buying, some selling, and whatever else. 1.65 million. But I think the biggest thing with SoFi today is algorithmic trading. Algos are picking up on the negativity, selling absolutely everything. So again, that's definitely a very big thing to pay attention to. With that at 1589, it is above this pivot point, so 1572 will be a strong support. And based on everything, unless Powell comes out, states that he wants to raise rates, I know it's kind of a small likelihood of that occurring, but just in case, I don't see that being broken below that, so we might be potentially in for a bottom. Then 1672 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and then 1734. Only one new rating has so far come out, and that was Bank of America. Analyst has a 68% success rating, $13 sell was given. SoFi has always just been one of those weird stocks that gets a overwhelming amount of actual ratings prior to the earnings, and then the day of their earnings, it just crickets. So it's kind of crazy, but definitely the rest of the week, anticipate a lot of these, and definitely as well that could really move the market. So given where it is right now, a $13 sell could be also one attributing factor why it is maybe going down a little bit, but it seems to be recovering a little bit better than at least a lot of the other tech stocks out there. But going over to the actual chart itself, let's kind of talk on this. So as of right now, though, it is below the ALMA, above the 50-day moving average, as well as the super trend. So those are 2 points to really watch for. That's at 1550. So definitely going into the next couple trading days, for sure watch that, because if SoFi does to break below that 50-day moving average for 2 consecutive trading days, this is where you see more of a broader pullback. But right now, on the stochastic RSI, SoFi is considered rather overbought. So once again, that also is going to add an extra level of volatility for SoFi. So again, nothing really wrong with that. A lot of stocks can kind of stay in the overbought status for a while as they do kind of adjust, get to their realistic true value. And I think SoFi is going to be doing that over the next couple of trading days. But all in all, nothing really overly wrong with their technicals, just a couple of key points to really watch for going forward. So let me know your viewpoint. Was there anything from their earnings that stood out to you as a, hey, I need to buy this right now because of whatever? Was there any of those types of points for you guys? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon, give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.